Ever wondered what makes TV so powerful in Jamaica? Time to find out. Welcome to Global TV Group 358, where television meets innovation. We're not just about shows, we're about shaping society. In Jamaica, TV keeps you informed, connects diverse voices, and supports democracy. Imagine a Jamaica where broadcasters unite, sharing data and collaborating globally. That's us, a unified voice in the TV industry. Did you know TV advertising is still king? It drives website traffic, boosts brand equity, and powers integrated campaigns. Even in an age of digital, TV stands strong, resilient in tough times. Our Global TV Deck is your treasure trove of insights and data. With charts, graphs, and success stories, it's your guide to impactful TV advertising. Curious to learn more? Visit our website and see how Global TV Group 358 keeps television at the heart of entertainment in Jamaica. Get ready to binge watch the future.
Oh, thy peace, God of my salvation, because the mouth of the sinful and wicked is open. Rastafari. Come with I. Rastaman throw one stone, and it break a bad feeling to all wicked men. Not a people there. Make him man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Only when man like Marcus Garvey speak, wicked men would I hear. Hear now hear. Instead of that, they only sit aside a rub and cheat, and not first of all, make up what I seen to. Make him a throw and stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a plan! Make him a throw and stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. My favorite man, if Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see the day them can sell out Rasta and sell it out and sell out Babylon. They give man show and stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. They give man show and stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. If Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see the dead and can sell out Rasta and sell out, I sell out Babylon. Just stop on the Friday. You might go and stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a black thing, man, throw and stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. You have eyes to see, let him see. You have ears to hear, let them hear. What a prophet must say. President Mandela was in prison for 20 odd years. And he leave from the prison and take the seat of the president. Stone one. Big him and throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what's a black? Big him and throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Rastaman throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men.
Good night and welcome. It's Friday, the 3rd of October. Welcome to Global TV. Tonight, we will be looking at the Caribbean single market and the 4 pillars that the single market is based on. A concept which is drawn from the European Union, which is something I kind of know a bit about because we have to study it over here as well. So we're going to look at that tonight, and we're asking the question, why are Jamaicans denied the benefit of the single market? And what are the benefits of the single market for Jamaica, and how the single market really works? That's what we'll be looking at tonight. So you understand what it means economically for the region, and whether you think your leader, who is currently the chair of CARICOM, Jamaica, which is known to be a big player in the Caribbean, ought to be on board with the CARICOM single market. Good evening, everyone, and welcome. Thank you for joining us. To my community of party and all my family members, platform moderators, membership holders, viewers, subscribers, commenters, and trolls, good evening, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Like and share the live, please, so we get the message out there. When you hit the like button, it supports us in the algorithm. So please give us the support by hitting the like button. And a one-hearty big good evening to everybody this evening. I'm not in the mood for roll call this evening, so pardon me, but good evening, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Now, you would have heard and seen in the news over the last few days where 4 of the CARICOM countries have implemented freedom, the single market, rather. They have implemented the single market, which we will discuss the 4 pillars of the single market. And these countries are Barbados, St. Vincent, Belize, and Dominican Republic. One might ask the question, where on earth is the popular Caribbean country, Jamaica? Where is that country when you speak of the Caribbean? It's the first name that would come up into a lot of people's mouth. The same leader that we have who really have no interest in being a part of the Caribbean Court of Justice is also dragging his feet when it comes to the single market, which has potential benefits for you, the people living at home. So, as I said, the single market is something that they draw from the EU. It is what the EU is based on, the single market and its 4 pillars. Now, the 4 pillars of the single market are free movement of goods, free movement of services, free movement of capital, and free movement of people. Now, these freedom works operates to remove what is called tariff barriers, that which you see Donald Trump going around lashing everybody with. Once you implement the single market, then all countries within the single market, it removes all those internal barriers within the union, both tariff barriers and some of what we also call non-tariff barriers, which we'll speak much about little further. So what that also does, that allow fair competition. It sets high standard for consumers and the environment. It also have a mutual recognition for the standard of product within member of state. It also opens up a broader market to consumers across the region. It creates growth, it creates jobs and innovation, and in the context of free movement, it allows you to travel, live, and work in any member state without the necessary restriction you would have to go through if you're not a part of a if you have not fully rather implemented the single market. So let's look at the 4 freedoms. The first freedom is free movement of goods. What that means? It means all products within CARICOM are legally marketed and sold in all 4 countries without the tariffs and the trade barriers, meaning like the custom duty and the different regulations that the different regulatory hoops that you would have to jump through in order to move products from one country to another. So once you become a member of the union, then that's how the free movement of goods work. It removes the tariff barriers and any other trade barriers. What we call the I wait further down to explain the non-tariff barriers. So that's simple how free movement of goods work. Then when it comes to free movement of services, this is where the economy could benefit. The Jamaica economy could benefit a lot from growth. Businesses and individuals can provide or receive services across border without significant obstacles. So you can across the union, you can use the businesses and services within a country, and it doesn't carry you don't have to go to any restriction, clearing any restrictions and all of that to do businesses from country to country. Similar to the freedom, how the freedom of free movement of capital works. That allows you also, these 2 areas really help to grow the economy. Under the free movement of capital, money and investment, it can literally flow freely between all member of state within the union without any restrictions, supporting trade and cross-border businesses. So those things will help to grow the economy, because especially freedom of capital and services does, what that can do is foster competition in our Jamaica state, which could and will benefit us. One of the area where that could prove beneficial to us is in energy. JPS, as an example, JPS has total monopoly of the energy supply when it comes to lighting electricity in our country. Now, if Jamaica has fully implemented the single market, then what that would do is foster competition where other energy providers across the Caribbean can set up shop in Jamaica, thereby bringing competition to JPS, which could bring down the price of electricity for Jamaicans. It also allow um, rich investors in the Caribbean to come to Jamaica to invest and grow the Jamaica economy, providing jobs for Jamaican locals without going through the current restrictions they would have to go through now. Then you come on to the final freedom, which is freedom of free movement of people. Now, what that allows is citizens in all member states who've implemented the single market can move freely between those countries who have implemented the single market. You have the right to travel there without visa application and restriction. You have the right to live there. You have the right to work there. You have the right to study there. You have the right to do business there. So that would be beneficial for a lot of Jamaicans who, especially in the tourism industry where we pay the lowest, a lot of our people could travel to the Caribbean and work and earn better, which some of them are literally doing now. What that also the single market provide is a harmonization of standards across the union. One of the greater parts, if when properly implemented, and if it works like how the European Union works, then they also trade as a bloc. They no longer, when trading with other countries, they no longer trade as these single countries. Say, for instance, they're cutting a deal with the United Kingdom. It won't be Jamaica cutting their own deal with the United Kingdom. It won't be Barbados cutting their own deal. They deal as a community. It's CARICOM would be doing a deal, a trade deal with the United Kingdom rather than all these single countries. So that is one of the things I possibly think Andrew Holness is kind of dodging away from. He wants to be outside and be doing his own thing rather than the union making certain decisions when it comes to trade. When all of this is implemented, as I said, it removes a lot of trade barriers like custom duty, quantitative restriction. It's also eliminate, it also facilitate a free flow of goods where goods don't get hold up because of regulatory compliance and all of that. So it makes business very much easier within the union. Most of all, though, It's the competition. I don't know if the private sector is not happy with this as well, because what this will do, it will break the private sector, the PSOJ monopoly on the economy, because I know them one in the Caribbean rich. So you have other rich people in the Caribbean who could come and set up shop in Jamaica and give them a real competition, because the Jamaica market is quite a market which, under the single market rules, a lot of other um, entrepreneurs and business people in other countries would want to tap into the Jamaican economy, given that one of the things that pushes people away is these um, bureaucratic red tapes that you have to go through. And what that will also possibly do as well is eliminate a lot of the extortion we go through in our market, because we can easily do business in any of the Caribbean countries who have implemented the single market. So there are massive benefits for our country. For consumers, the range of product you will have access to will be much wider. With the union's with the community's regulation as well, right across the community, consumers can be confident of the standard of product that they're getting, because it's one standard for the entire union, for the entire community. It's one standard. You have right across the Caribbean, when implemented, you would have access to a large domestic market. You know, like a lot of Jamaicans where used to go Carriacou and Panama, go buy clothes to come back, come sell on them something there. A lot of these things, duties and barriers on these things will be lifted. So that brings a lot of benefit. And what that does, it creates the amount of jobs that would open to different populace in different communities. So it is something that I deemed as beneficial for the Jamaican economy, as to why our prime minister is not on board with it. It is something that he must answer, because he has not grown the economy as he promised us to do. And becoming a member of the single market, these things will stimulate growth and competition in the Jamaica economy. So maybe this is something that citizens at home and the People's National Party needs to press the government on. What we will also have is availability to more products and services within the union. If a service not available or too expensive in a Jamaica, and you can get it cheaper in another state, that's a benefit to the consumer. So it is something that we need to press our government on, because there are great opportunities lying within our participation in the single market. There is a benefit for us. So kudos to the Caribbean countries who decide to go ahead with their full implementation, which will become beneficial for their people. What you must be asking yourself at home, is our leader really leading in our interests? Or does Andrew Holness care about the things that Jamaicans care about? Is Andrew Holness leading to uplift the people of Jamaica? These are things that should concern us for the next 5 years. I don't think we should wait until the Prime Minister tie up his loose ends. I think we've had a long time enough to put whatever mechanism in place to fully implement the single market. So I don't see why we're being held back, given when you talk about the Caribbean, Jamaica is first recognized. So Andrew Holness is stifling you, because one of the area where you would benefit, as I said, it's in energy. JPS needs competition in Jamaica. JPS really needs competition in Jamaica. And when we become members of the single market, anybody in the Caribbean who is a member of the single market can come set up shop in a Jamaica. Them can come set up shop in a Jamaica and give competition. Hold on, Golden Rebut invitation to meet with Chuck on constitutional reform in the system must be with the PM. Obviously. Mr. Delroy Chuck want to meet with Mark Golden to talk about the constitutional reform. And Mark Golden is saying, no, it's the Prime Minister that I should be having that conversation with, and rightly so. Jamaica is going after 500,000 UK visitors annually by 2030. Our Prime Minister keeps trying to move with the big boys rather than to foster relationship within the union where we live in. Even within when the implementation of the when those 4 CARICOM countries announce their implementation of the single market, what they also use their time to do during their time at the UN last week or so, they signed their, I think, memorandum of understanding or whatever, to foster closer relationship with the African Union or with some African countries. Jamaica do something there. Jamaica is not a part of it. And it's holding you, the people, back. When we become that type of union and start to bargain, say for instance, we do a trade deal with China. Jamaica can get to cut its own crooked deal with China. It's the CARICOM Union makes such a deal with the something there, with whichever country. So for instance, the United States. It's not Jamaica having a trade deal with the United States. It's CARICOM having a trade deal with the United States. They no longer trade as single countries. They trade as a bloc. What that would do, to me, it would eliminate some of the dodgy deals that we get from our leader, where some of the Caribbean countries seem to get a fairer deal. So I don't know if Andrew Holness is trying to riddle room out of those things to have his standalone, do my own thing, rather than beholden to the union. So maybe that is something we want to find out. I don't know, Sister P, did he get a 4-year sentence in a prostitution guilty case? Hold on, me just flip through the Gleaner there to see what upon them headline. But Jamaicans, you have been denied. You have been denied a good deal, or you have been denied opportunities that could better off a lot of you. Because the low unemployment rate, where Holness and talk about, a lot of rural Jamaicans are not benefiting or have not seen that low unemployment rate. It could help a lot of rural Jamaicans with the opportunity to move to some of these countries to look for work. And the Prime Minister is trapping you in poverty unnecessarily. Because if life not turn for you in Jamaica, and there's a little opportunity within CARICOM where you could move to, the restriction that applies not being in the single market is a barrier to you. These are some of the things that we call non-tariff barriers, regulatory the regulatory hoops and the quantity hoops and all of those things, rather than where it applies to paying tariff to have your goods or business done in the union. I keep saying the union because we're more used to the union over here, but in the community within the Caribbean. So you've been held back, you've been stifled. Don't know why the Prime Minister is doing it. Don't know if the private sector, as I said, is on board with this, because this will also bring big competition to the private sector. One of the things that it could do, remember, one at a time gone, Black people used to own a lot of supermarkets in Jamaica. Gone really are those days. You could have business people in the Caribbean coming to Jamaica to set up business as well, to give the Chinese competition, who is, you can almost say, they monopolize that area at the moment when it comes to both supermarket and wholesale. Jamaicans can buy goods and products abroad within the Caribbean, bring it into Jamaica without have to go through the whole custom duty, the regulation, and the clearing of things and all them things that we have to jump through now, which is expensive. It's lengthy and time consuming, and it puts a lot of people off. So, this is why it's important for us to understand as a country how these things operate and what are the benefits to us. And then you will understand from that whether your government have your interests at heart or not. This is a big old development within the CARICOM community. Jamaica cheers CARICOM at the moment. Have you heard Jamaica but a word? Since the last 2 days, when this in 2-3 days when this information surfaced. Have you heard anything from the Prime Minister or the Minister of Foreign Affairs that we yap in Chihuahua? Have you heard anything from them, given that we are the chair? We are the host country chairing CARICOM at the moment. And such a big move has been made in CARICOM. This is a major development, you know. This is a headliner, this is a major development, but the Jamaica government pays not one attention to it. Me don't know if I think them things we never go see it, or them a try drone it out for people don't talk about it or recognize that they are depriving us of a lot of things. Not a word from Andrew Holness or Kamina Johnson Smith. Dege. Not a word. Not a word. 1 second, the globalist. The police harassment continue. Bear with me. Bear with me. One video come to me. I don't know how old it is. I don't know where it happened. Maybe if anyone I don't know, can help us. Can help us and tell us where is this, where it come from, and how long it has happened. Name on the best of her clean, good self. Andrew, as you hear, the young man, Sir Andrew is like a big crutches boy, because after Andrew got the UN go behave yesterday, what you go behave like some big crutches boy, because when you look at Mia Matty is fostering connection with the African Union. Other Caribbean countries are doing it as well. Andrew don't want us to be in any contact with black people and black country. Andrew want to take we and push we up in a Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu face. That's where Andrew is taking Jamaica. How much of you want to go there with Andrew Holness? Not about just if he promote himself at the UN. Now that I know, he go promote violence and begging. The only thing Mr. Andrew got the UN with is go promote violence and talk tough and beg at the same time. That's why Jamaica look cheap. That's why Jamaica look cheap on the international stage at the UN where they, because our prime minister went there and he made no sense, not one ounce of it. He never spoke as a leader. He never spoke as a Jamaican. He never spoke on behalf of us. He never spoke like somebody who is a descendant of those who were enslaved. He spoke like the slave master. He went on the Trump and the Benjamin Netanyahu rant. When Andrew should have go there talk about CARICOM and our region and what we are going to do to develop our region, Andrew went there and gave Donald Trump the green light to bomb the region. Let us look at this video. First, may I come across it. If you know where it happened, there's a Super Plus store in the background. Don't know which Super Plus it is. Let us know if you recognize it. Those of you on YouTube. Hold on.
Around them around this man they are too long I get too much trouble.
Just blood clot, so. Pow, in a crowd, just so. It's a traffic stop, isn't it? Rush, how are you? It's a traffic stop, isn't it? This is not in pursuit of a gunman. This is not in pursuit of a gangster, is it? Isn't this a traffic stop? Does anyone know how old this video is? Has anyone seen it before? Nobody know how old, but it doesn't matter how old this wanton brutality this extrajudicial killing, this executing in broad daylight under the glare of camera. You understand what we're about Andrew Holness and Benjamin Netanyahu? We're at a traffic stop with an annoyed driver. A police have no other way to police a man with two long, empty hands, but to pull out his gun. Wasn't it about 3 shots you heard? We could listen to it again. Come I think even they go arrest them, I never know saying they go shot the man just so. The man attack in front of him and a flashing hand. It's how Jamaican don't talk with their hands still. I don't see where that was a behavior that was threatening to the officer or threatens the life or safety of the officer for that matter. I mean, I understand.
Them around to this man they are too long, I get too much trouble.
Here where it becomes brutal and extrajudicial. I didn't see a reason. Young DT said it happened about 2 years ago. I didn't see a reason for the officer shooting him the first time. But when the officer shot him the first time and he went down, why was there another need to shot him twice again? Because if there was a threat to the officer, the threat was disabled from the first shot, wasn't it? From the first shot and he went down, the threat to the officer would have been neutral. What was the reason for the other to pow? You see, we have allowed this brutality to go on for too long. And this is why it's becoming normal now. This is why we're not outraged when these type of killing takes place by the Jamaica Constabulary Force. Because over the years, they have normalized the behavior of shooting us down in cold blood for simple things that they could deploy other policing tactics without resulting to the ultimate. Obviously, the man was unarmed. The man was only arguing out of frustration and flashing his hands. Because the man take when vehicle put on record. And the police officer, think the best way to police such a heated confrontation is to pull out his bullet and pow. You see, this has been why we are not outraged when we see how far they went to murder Jamar Ferguson, is because this cruelty against the Jamaican people has been normalized slowly. We were slow walked. We were blindfolded in the name of fighting crime by both successive governments to unleash police brutality, which has gotten worse in the last 10 years. To unleash police brutality on the people in our bid to keep us in our place, in our bid to preventing us from rebelling and revolting. Because with all the intelligence or whatever and the investment in crime fighting, this government and gangs are still friends. This government will walk and shoot down innocent young men are still friends to those who are criminal out there. If Benjamin Netanyahu give you the Pegasus software and you can listening to people conversation and get an intelligence on criminal, how you can do targeted crackdown of the gangs, rather you're always just shooting young men who happens to point gun at you. The young man will walk and point gun on the police, mad. These young men, if we're to follow your stories, the all of them young man, yeah, will uno claim say, uno tell if they don't move, uno, what should arrest them, uno come in contact with them and go perform certain search. But uno still allow them to all go back upstairs when uno left them downstairs out a door with gun police officer. Uno all make them come back upstairs, come take out gun out of clothes. Uno all wake them up out of their sleep and the gun put them on the dresser and you said, don't move. And the man still reach for the gun on the dresser and point it after you. Now, don't you think you would kill him before he point the gun after you, sir? If something goes off it too, just say go so. So then point gun after you. You think once you see them and reach for the gun, you would give them the opportunity to point the gun after you? Or they point the gun after your part? No, go so, you know. That the part they break down your whole story when you say they reach for the gun and point the gun at you. Jamaica police don't come in your house with gun pan their hip. Jamaica police don't come in your house with a China fan in their hand. Jamaica police come in your house with their gun pointing in your face and in your direction. So only an insane or an over brave, stupid man, reckless man, careless man would say police enter your house, pointing gun at you, and then you take up a gun and point at the police. Only a mad person would do that. And so far, we're not aware from any information given to us by the police that these were people of unsound mind. The Americans say that the Jamaica Constabulary Force is involved in human and organ trafficking. Is this the reason for the targeting of young men in our country, for the cold-blooded execution? And one of the things that would make you ask the question, why is it when they shoot them, they don't leave them for Indicom to come and do their investigation before they remove the body? Because you pump how much you shot in them, we have okay them go hospital, go pronounce them dead for again. When police always coming out with community come pronounce people dead. There's a 48 to 72 hours window when it comes to organ harvesting, where they must have your organs out and on the way to its destination within that 72-hour time slot. There's an awful lot of things that rain a pelt down out of door, from man. Me no go to do rain a fall from man, and out there going like a storm right now with rain and wind. There's a whole lot of things we need to look into in our country. That spree of killing, yeah, where the Jamaica Constabulary Force depend, and we hear the American them say they're involved in human and organ trafficking. We're also hearing stories that there is a concession fee from funeral parlor for police officers when them kill we and give it to funeral parlor. All these things as a country must concerns us, because what would have happened is your children has become the pawn within that business. Your children, your young men has become the product that the vampires consume. This is the product that the vampires consume. So from slavery day till now, we continuously upon the table being feast on. The Wasara part of it right here now, and we are doing it to ourselves. Those people who, if what the Americans are saying is true, who are involved in human and organ trafficking, remember those are the same people who was created as slave capture. Their job, Julie Miss Mango, you had a long time, their job was to capture us and return us to brutality. So don't be too surprised of the Jamaica Constabulary Force behavior. It has been the practice from day one. Are you happy with it? Are you comfortable with it? Do you plan to let that be the norm? Or it will get to a point when we as a people say, enough is enough. Too much of us have died or have been killed by those who are meant to protect us without no explanation to the public, their families, or anybody. We will never know, particularly for this year, of these 200 and odd young men that have been murdered by the Jamaica Constabulary Force, other than Jamar, which we know for a fact he was murdered innocently in cold blood. We don't know if the argument advanced by the police officers, if there's any facts to it. Even what is coming out of Westmoreland, we can't see the facts or the truth of the Jamaica Constabulary Force argument. Jamaicans, they are working against us from all different angles. I keep saying it is us against them. If you're not seeing it, if you cannot feel it, I don't know if I can help you. But what you will have to do is look around you and look at what is happening. Compare what you're getting, compare your living standard, compare rule of law in your country to other countries. and see if we are really getting a modern day service from our politicians. We must call on Andrew Holness to implement the single market. The single market has a lot of benefit for our economy. The single market have a lot of benefit for Jamaicans. We must call on Andrew Holness to implement the single market because it would make life better for a lot of us. It would open up access and opportunity for a lot of us. It will enter us into a wider economic market. We must call on Andrew Holness. Jamaica is chairing CARICOM at the moment. We must put pressure on our opposition to put pressure on the government. We must implement the single market. Jamaicans should not be stifled from the access and the opportunity and the benefits of the single market. So don't sit silent on this matter. Do not sit silent on this matter. Because if you sit silent on the matter, what you're sending a signal to the government is to say, one, I don't care, or two, I don't understand what it's all about. And if you don't care and if you don't understand, then the government don't care either. And the government will be more vested into doing it into their own interests rather than to do it to benefit you. Rather than doing it to benefit you, the people. It's time we call for the single market, my people. We need competition in Jamaica in places like JPS and National Water Commission and all of those. We need people to be able to buy out some of those franchises. We need them to be able to come and set up shop in Jamaica. We need Jamaicans to be able to go abroad, go to places like Panama and Carriacou and do them buying and come back without having to face the restrictions. The reason why JPS have knife with throat with them foot in our stomach is because they say a them one and whatever JPS supply, you either buy teefy or do it outy, but you don't have another choice. Now, when competition in an area such as energy come to Jamaica, JPS will have to tone down its behavior. JPS will have to do better if JPS wants to keep customers. Is the private sector on board with us not fully implementing the single market because them just want them alone to enrich themselves out of it and nobody else not get anything? Because right now, it is the private sector and the tourism industry have a monopoly on our economy. If the economy is open up to the single market, then you have businesses from all over the Caribbean can come to business at Jamaica. Jamaicans can go anywhere within the union, within the community, go set up them business, go work, go educate themselves. There's a lot that your leader or leader is denying from us. And we must call for full implementation of the single market for Jamaica. We have no more time to wait. We can't see what we're waiting on. Okay, even if we're not at the point where we do all of the different fine tuning to make sure we come on board with the single market. Given the new and major development in the union, in the community, which Jamaica chairs at the moment, our leader or the Jamaica Secretariat for CARICOM ought to address the Jamaica people on the matter. Where are we on matters of the single market? How far away are we, Andrew Holness, from implementation of the single market and its 4 freedoms? Stop all Jamaican people to ransom, Andrew Holness. Make Jamaica people have access to a wider prosperity that you have promised and is unable to deliver. Make them go somewhere else, go look it, sir. Give the people them the chance, Andrew Holness, to go somewhere else and look for the prosperity that you achieve for yourself. You promised the Jamaica people, but is unable to deliver. I hope I don't confuse you tonight with my explanation of how the single market and its 4 freedoms work. I didn't confuse you, did I? But I saw me do it at school and I saw me understand it. And it's really so it work. If Andrew Holness no one can tell you so it go. If Andrew Holness don't want to come and tell you, say, I saw it go, that's how it is. But there is benefit for us in this. And I don't think the opportunities should be put on hold or put on delay. And we're asking the Prime Minister, Minister of Foreign Affairs, and the CARICOM Secretariat to address the Jamaica people on matters of CARICOM, particularly the implementation of the single market and its 4 freedoms. Thank you for being here tonight. It is the weekend. I think I'm going to take my rest for the weekend, yeah. And possibly back Monday morning. If anything pops up Sunday, we'll be back out here on Sunday. But if not, we may take the 2 days and certainly return on Monday morning. So thank you all for being here tonight. And you can just type in Google and research for yourself how the single market works. The information it will provide you will be related to the European Union, but it is how the same concept works within CARICOM, because that single market was taken from the European Union. So it meant to work exactly as it is, as how it works here. But you can just do your Google search on how the single market works, and it will explain to you. There are literatures and things that you can read on that. So thank you all very much for being here tonight, and please do join us back on Monday, possibly if we're not back out here Sunday, for your next week programs. So thank you and good night from Global TV. Raining like cat and dog outside, oh, it's like a storm out there. Rain, breeze, you name it. So it's snoring, sleeping tonight, my peeps, given the weather we are going out to do there. Anyway, thank you. Goodbye. See you next week.
Oh, thy peace, God of my salvation, because the mouth of the sinful and wicked is open. Ah, Rastafari. Come with I. Rastaman throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Not a people there. Make a man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Only when man like Marcus Garvey speak, wicked men would I hear. Hear now hear. Instead of not they only sit aside and rob and cheat, and not first and four. Make up what I seen to make him a throw one stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a plan! Make him a throw one stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. My favorite part, if Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see the day them can sell out Rasta and sell it out. I sell out Babylon. They give man show and stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. They give man show and stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. If Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see the dead and can sell out Rasta and sell out. I sell out Babylon. Just stop on the Friday. You might show and stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a black thing, man, show and stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. You have eyes to see, let him see. You have ears to hear, let them hear. What a prophet must say. President Mandela was in prison for 20 odd years. And he leave from the prison and take the seat of the president. Stone one. Big him and show one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what's a black big him and show one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Rasta man show one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men.
If you don't like missing out on the latest shows but still enjoy classic hits, then Global TV Group 358 is your perfect match. Global TV Group 358 isn't just another channel, it's your ultimate TV experience. From breaking news to binge-worthy dramas and timeless classics, we've got it all.
Our unique blend of original content and global favorites means there's something for everyone. And guess what? With GTVG's seamless streaming, you can watch anywhere, anytime. Plus, our interactive features let you be part of the action. So, whether you're a seasoned binge watcher or a casual viewer, Global TV Group 358 is here to keep you entertained day and night. Don't just watch TV, experience it with Global TV Group 358. Subscribe now and never miss a moment.